Oh, yeah. Ooh, it's happening. No. What's up, weirdos? Let's get down to it. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. That's how I'm going to start off this. Oh, man. Powerful sneezes from a powerful man. Don't hate, appreciate. Oh. Welcome to another live stream, an angry stream, with me, your host, Angry Cops. And I'm here to talk about weird military shit that's going on in the world today, and or sometimes policing. I mean, it just depends on what you want to talk about, right? This is what we do here. We break down things that people don't understand in a manner so that people can understand them. Daniel, I appreciate you. My day's going okay. Watching the old videos, watching you, it's a reminder of how bad you want Dirtbag Private on a Christmas Carol album. Oh my God. I can't go into it, but I can tell you that I have an entire Christmas album of police-related songs that are covers of old songs, and now we're here today. So, tidbit. I'm hydrating because I have work tomorrow, but I also want to drink today. Ooh-wee. By the way, I drink tequila, and if you ever want to send me a bottle, you're more than welcome to at the P.O. Box. Oh, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, yeah. There we go. That one. You know, put that down. Cap it because it sounds good and it looks good. Ready for this? Should I just drop it in there? Oh. So here you go, gang. Listen, I'm not gonna talk about any random shit today. I'm gonna talk about your random shit today. Whatever you want to talk about today, we're gonna talk about today. It is a viewer request live. I'm here for you. You're here for me. You guys support me, and I am super appreciative. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And I might read the super chats first because they're people that give me a couple bucks, and I don't want to feel bad and ignore them. But I'm going to try and read as many comments as I can in the live stream, and we're going to discuss random shit today. And it's going to start off with a shot. Because if I'm going to talk about all of your random bullshit, I'm going to need a drink, right? So here's to you. Here's to me. But mainly here's to me. Reposado. Not bad. A little bit of water to stay hydrated so I can work tomorrow. And let's get naughty. Oh, Brian. Thank you so much. What's happening? It's Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show this week. That's what's happening. I don't like, this is a hot take, how they zoom in on the dog's butthole. I don't think there's a for or against crowd there. I think that we're all against it. I think the necessity to grab a dog's genitals and zoom in on the butthole so the crowd can see is overrated. Do I plan on doing an Only Cops channel again? Also, make sure to thank Brandon for his service. Oh, I can't tell you what I have. I have a very special thing for Brandon Herrera. For those of you that don't know, Brandon Herrera is a member of the Unsubscribed podcast. One of the heads, one of the four main crew. I'm not. I'm just a dude that shows up, that gives everybody the reality of life, which I think is necessary. Top shelf tequila or bottom shelf tequila? It's in this. I'm not putting poop in this. This is delicious. This is good stuff. Oh wait, look at my head. All right, gang. Hey, you want Brovet and Operator Sam back, dude? Listen, here's the deal, gang. If you want a Brovet or you want An operator Sam. So here, let me tell you the stipulations, right? Operator Sam is going to show up when somebody is dumb and needs to be educated, right? If somebody needs to be educated on the military past, you send me that video. That's an Operator Sam video, right? You want Brovet. Brovet is a veteran that does something outside of service, right? So it's a military member. They've completed their service and then they do something. That's a Brovet story, right? If you want to go in between all that stuff, you've got Dirtbag Private is when somebody does something a little bit out of the norm, but they get away with it, right? Somewhat a slap on the wrist, but they did the right thing. The hard right instead of the easy wrong, or sometimes the easy wrong that makes it a good right. And then you got Angry Drill Sergeant whenever somebody just does something so absolutely ridiculous that, you got to have a man stand up and just, call out the bullshit. I won't, Ariel. When am I blessing us Eurotrash with thine sweet merch? I want me that Palestine shirt. Listen, here's the deal, gang. Listen, you brought up my merch. So, by the way, if you want to go pick up any merch, and there's some fantastic shirts and ideas and canvases of amazing things out there that you can see, you go to angry-cops.com. But one of the main reasons why I don't ship to Europe and places outside the continental United States, Canada excluded, is that the shipping fee is really, really high. And I mean, it's exorbitantly high. It's almost as much as the thing. And if average people are buying a shirt and then they see that their $25, $30 shirt is now $70, they're like, oh, you fucked me. And I don't want people from the European sphere, from the United States, the outside, to think that I'm trying to scam you and upcharge you and make you feel like jerks. So maybe I will extend European or international services for, shipping for a week or a month. But I'm letting you know the prices are going to be high. And I feel really bad about it because I'm not a price gouger. I'm not here to get you for every nickel and dime. And the prices are pretty steep. They're bad. They're not good. I don't like them. I use a small company, a veteran-owned agency, and we try to do what we can do in order to make people happy. Not some big YouTuber, just a normal dude. And he using the crack house. Yes. And can you have Nerdrotic on the stream? Or can you go on his? I don't know if Nerdrotic would drop down to me. Nerdrotic, I feel like, is a big deal. I love Nerdrotic. I don't know what we would talk about. I'm sure we could find something. It's actually a really good idea. Hey, if you want Nerdrotic to come on a live stream and talk about something that he or you think is a big idea that he's talking on, I'd love to do it. Here's the deal. I created the live stream. I like doing the live stream because I don't want to create a podcast. I don't want to do it. I don't want to have an edited conversation with me and a bunch of friends. I want to have this. I want to have Larry King live, except obviously I'm not, Larry. But I want to have Larry King live with people. I want to talk. I want to discuss. I want there to be flubs and mistakes and honesty all in the same thing. And I would love to have Nerdrotic on here. So if you guys want to tag Nerdrotic on Instagram or YouTube and say, hey, you need to get with this cop. He's a dude that sees through bullshit. He's like you. He's a deep diver into things. I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Nerdrotic. In fact, I don't know why Unsub hasn't had Nerdrotic on yet. I think Nerdrotic is baby based on their lack of social. What would you call that? They're because they don't appear on the social cues, social media posts, etc. I feel like they're like a bear. They hibernate when they have their idea, and then they awaken when they want to post it, edit it, talk about it, have questions about it. And then other than that, they're kind of, like off topic, which is smart. Good Good for them. They're fantastic. But I would absolutely love Nerd Rod to be on there. Hold on. I'm going to scroll up. So I don't miss a bunch of text and stuff. It's you and me, gang. It's you and me right now. So we're going to do a back and forth Q&A. Like that's this. So you got questions. Let's do it. And once again, Jomi, keep up the good work. Hey, listen, brother, I appreciate you. I am super glad that you enjoy it. I really am. He was in the last podcast before Dallas live show. I don't know what that means, Truck. Gary would absolutely chat Lord of the Rings movies. He's a great guy, and it'd be interesting to see since he's a former ward of the state. What a great guy. Is Gary the name of the guy that runs Nerd? Hold on. That's not sure. Words. Oh, I forget the comment that I looked on. Gary's a lord of the was a word of the state. That's fantastic. Nerdrotic? Are we still talking about Nerdrotic here? Angry streams. Where squirrels go during hurricanes, they burrow underground. They fight the groundhogs, and because there's more of them, they overtake. Nerdrotic was on the Unsub show, the last show before the Dallas live show. Oh, I need to watch that. Whichever episode was on before Dallas. Oh my God, you're kidding me. All right, guys, let me tell you something about Unsubscribe. Fantastic podcast, right? But like I'm on them. You know, I'm not they, as in I don't control it, but I'm on it. Like they record it in like a week or two, maybe 3 in advance, and then they post it. So although that is the video that's posted, like now, you're like, oh my God, the video came out now. That video might have happened 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like they have to make sure that everything's good, and it's very live. They really don't take out much. Every once in a while, when I go on, they take out a couple things because I say things that are very rude, and I don't want to say I'm a shock jock, but I say things that are intentionally offensive in order to get a joke out of get a laugh out of the other guys because it's socially awkward or inappropriate. That's who I am. It's who I've always been. But now I need to absolutely watch the Nerdrotic episode. Oh my gosh, if I could have Donut or Brandon or the guys shout me out and just have him on here and talk about something that he's interested in or doing a deep dive on, maybe something that I'm interested in. Oh, I'd love to see and hear about what his thoughts are. Mike, Unsub has enough videos to last till June. That's not true. Well, we're halfway through May, so maybe they do. I don't know what a modern day Greaseman is. Yes, Steven, I know Nerdrotic was on last month. Everybody said it. They were on before the Dallas show. Well, you know what? I was there for the Dallas show. So I'm busy doing things. It was one of the best episodes. Oh, thanks a lot, Dick. It wasn't one of the ones that I was on. You know what? No, you're right. I appreciate the honesty. Don't sugarcoat things. If my episodes are second to something, you know what? That's all right. Oh, let me just get this bottle open again while I drink to my sorrows of not being number one. I'm not going to lie. I do selfishly look up to the stats or request the stats of the Unsub podcast whenever I'm on them because I always want to make them do better. I want to see my friends succeed, and I want to succeed with my friends, as I feel like everybody else does. So I ask them, I'll ask Eli, how's it doing? It's doing good. Doing better than average. It's doing okay. He's like, yeah, man, it's doing okay. Eli's such a positive guy. Can you hint at what happened when you're on the HLC habitual line crosser when the VCR screen cut in and skipped? Yes, I'll tell you exactly what happened. So this is what happened. I made a joke, and then I made a t-shirt out of it. So what happened was I said, hey, welcome to Palestine. That was the first time that I said, hey, welcome to Palestine, right? Because the Palestinians that were receiving aid decided to go directly underneath, because you can avoid it. It's got a parachute. You can move. They decided to go underneath a pallet of aid, and I think like a couple people passed away because they were crushed by a pallet of food and aid in Palestine. And so I was like, you know, it'd be a great shirt is if you had a stick figure underneath a pallet and said, welcome to Palestine. And the pallet had a parachute above it, and the dude was about to be crushed. And I said that I think that might be the most offensive t-shirt I've ever thought of. I'm going to do it if you guys don't. And they cut it out because it is a little offensive. And they never made the t-shirt, unlike the Boop the Tiger Get the Horns. And I decided that I would make the t-shirt. And so you can get it at angry-cops.com. And it is, there's two versions of it. There's the very simplified version of it, and then there's a sexy version of it, which I don't know if is the appropriate term for that, but okay. Now, am I going to start a music career now? I don't know if any of you guys know this. By the way, here's to you. Water. Am I gonna start a music career now? I don't know if you know this. I was in a punk band in high school. And I joined the Army at 17. But before then, I was in a punk band. And I used to sing and play rhythm guitar. I can't sing as well as I did now. I do want to get voice lessons again, though. You know what? Maybe Phil from All That Remains can, you know, point me in the right direction, because I used to have a good singing voice. And that's not just like a, oh yeah, I used to have a good sing. Like, I had lessons before and I was singing. There's reasons why. I thought it was pretty good. All right, that's enough of my humble bragging. AC, it would be sweet to see you with Neurotic and or Critical Drinker. I think Critical Drinker's out of my league, but I'd love to talk to him about why he thinks the way he thinks about stuff. Like, I feel like I like Critical Drinker. I think he has a very good point of view. However, I want to know what movies he likes. I know he gets more views from shitting on videos, but I want to hear about, like, instead of shitting on it, like, why did you like it? What was good about it? You know, we can all be critics, but critic is taken in the negative sense, right? Why don't we be a critic in the positive sense? Be a critic of what's good, what's done right. Critic doesn't necessarily mean negative. It just means you critique something, whether it be positive or negative. Whoa, truck. What are we doing here? Said one of good tree, sir. Not the best. Okay, all right. Shit, you want to throw some your fucking stacks around, truck senpai? I don't know if that's $199, 109 won, or whatever, but you're going to throw some big bucks around. Stop yelling at me. Typing too many caps. Check your tone. Check your tone. Tones are wrong. Will you ever be multi-stream, like using other platforms, or is Pepperbox going to have my live stream? So here's the deal, right? I feel, for those of you that don't know what Pepperbox is, it's a subscription video service that I've signed on to. And it's not just me. It's a bunch of other people. I think it's like a dozen other, like, huge content creators, way bigger than me. Like Donut Operator, Demolition Ranch. And they put their videos on the streaming service called Pepperbox, which I'm a part of. And you get to watch them. It's ad-free. It's like $5.99 or $6.99. It's fairly cheap a month. And you get to watch it. And it's unedited, right? It's the raw, it's the real, it's who we are, because we feel like the trend is towards censorship. It's always been towards censorship, right? You've seen the ebbs and flows of, like, GunTube or policing, where, you know, Donut Operator does a video, and this is his job, right? His job is to break down videos because he is an expert. He understands what's going on. And his expert opinion matters and should be seen by the public. and it's on YouTube. But because it's a police-related shooting or etc., it gets defunded, right? So the only money that he makes are by the ads in his video, if there is an ad in his video. This is a way, and it's a very easy way for the community to get a part of, like $5, $6, I forget how much it is a month, to view us and support us and have us be uncensored. That's it. So all of my videos are going to be on Pepperbox. And when, I feel like it's going to be when YouTube decides that it's going to be so censored that it's not going to allow live streaming. Because, I mean, like, if you try to follow the community standards or community guidelines on a YouTube video, now try to follow them on a live stream where I show a video that might show like something that's, a big flag, like a bare ass or a titty pops out. Like I didn't know what was on the video. I didn't do it intentionally, but there it is. So Pepperbox is a way for us to, it's a way for you as a fan to assist us as content creators without us being limited by the space that we're on, right? Do I gotta post to 30 different fucking sites, or can I just post to one? That's it in a nutshell. Have I heard of AFC Harrogate? No, I have not. Oh, friends are texting me. Did I say something stupid on the internet? Nope. Nope, they're just texting me randomly because they're friends. I don't know what AFC Harrogate is. ANS with the TISM. And with the TISM, I want to know, when are we getting the AC version of the MDK project? I want a dirtbag private to teach me how to sham. All right. Oh, man. So here's the thing. This is going to sound really conceited. I don't do this for the money. I did this for years without getting paid. And so my integrity is number one. And also because I am somewhat affiliated with the military through my channel and what I promote, obviously I know I am a drill sergeant, like whatever, like that's my spiel, right? I have to be aware of what I do, what I say, and how I promote things. And I had a content creator, a YouTuber, I'm not going to say his name, and he makes really good content diving into the world and the life of people of the subject that he wants to break down, right? Let's say that he's into a raver. He's like, oh, I want to learn what the life of a raver is like. Well, he goes and, follows that raver around for a week or two or three. And then he posts one video a month, and they're in their deep dives. And it's, like I said, just like Pepperbox, it's supporters like you that support those one video a month deep dives for him, So being a supporter is huge, right? That you're really going to get that $5, that $2, and $3. It goes a long way when it comes to YouTube channels that do a one video a month post, because they get to do a deep dive into something and really go into it. And this guy was very, very motivated. And what he wanted is he was in a rut, and he wanted to be motivated, and he wanted to be driven the way that basic trainees are. And so he contacted me and said, hey man, I want you to be my drill sergeant for a week. I want you to wake me up. I want you to do physical training. I want you to motivate me. So then I get back into this positive mindset to create. And in this week-long motivation training that I'm in, I'm going to record it and then make that in and of itself a video. And here's where, and I told him this, and this is my favorite quote for comedy and content creation. I know that there's a way to do it, and I will try to assist you in your way to complete it, even if I do not know. I'll be the guy. And I'm not the guy. Yeah, he wanted a drill sergeant to wake him up and yell at him and motivate him. but then he wanted a break from that in order to content create and do some things and cook himself some meals and yada yada. The drill sergeant experience is not an individual experience that you can go through where one guy just yells at you to wake up in the morning. That's not it. It's deep. It seems shallow, right? It seems like this is why I have a huge deal with like the MDK project, right? It seems like on the surface level, it's a dude yelling at you that wants to push you towards a goal. And then when you accomplish that goal, he's proud of you. And that is very skin level. It's very basic, right? But if that was true, then we could do what the YouTuber wanted, right? You could have a singular drill sergeant with a singular troop yell and scream at him to do something, and then he does it. And then what? Now he's completed with it? Now just have a bunch of time to kill between this and that? No. In basic training, in military training, if there's time to kill, there's still training. Because not only is there me telling you, pick up this book and read it, conduct this level of some sort of exercise to completion, teach your other trainees such and such. Like, there's a bunch of things that I can do to fill up the time between you doing an individual task. And most of these individual tasks are as a group. So, like, if you're saying, I want an individual drill sergeant, and this is what I threw to him. I go, if you want an individual drill sergeant to yell at you throughout the day, I go to David Goggins. Like, David Goggins is an individual trainer that will tell you to do things throughout the day and blah, 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 and motivate you. But if you, like, you can't give me $1,000 in a day so that I can babysit you and give you the amount of training that you want as if you were a basic training soldier with the one-on-one bullshit that you need. Like, that ain't gonna work. And plus, by the way, I have to set up a training schedule for you. This isn't like you just show up and I'm like, I'm a drill sergeant, I know how to yell at people. No. This is deeper than that. There's a training schedule. There is an end goal, and this end goal, by the way, has gone through, I don't know, the entire global war on terror. So from 2001 all the way till now, and even before then, there has been a training standard to get you to one point or another because they needed you to get there. And when I say there, I mean like a specific level of training towards the combat environment that you're going to. So it doesn't work when it's one-on-one. Am I confusing people? Let me scroll down. I stopped for a second to fucking jibber jabber. Oh man, I feel like a lost people. Oh, random comment. How do I feel about the amount of money given to Ukraine? Would buy the same Marine Corps as us with a surplus of funding. I don't know what that means. Okay. Quick thing on Ukraine. It's complicated, right? Because Ukraine isn't Hungary. Ukraine isn't, Turkey. It's not Czechoslovakia. Ukraine is right next to Poland, right? It's the second largest, or if not the largest country in Europe besides Russia. Large landmass. And it's what was the buffer zone between the USSR and NATO. And NATO was to prevent, was it Nazism? No, it was prevent Soviet Russia from overtaking Europe. And Tucker Carlson says, like, what's the point of NATO if, Russia's not trying to overtake the USSR and communism isn't trying to overtake Europe? Well, Russia is still. Ta-da. Welcome to Ukraine. And as much as I don't want to spend American money in places that don't affect us, I also know that if Russia breaks through Ukraine and takes Ukraine, their next attack will be Poland, which is a NATO ally, and then all of Europe will be involved in war. And that's it. Just like World War One and World War Two, there's allies. They're close together. All right. Listen, let's put it in this way, right? Everybody thinks that Europe is like a million miles away and it's all these like massive states. All of Europe fits on the East Coast, right? So if you took the 13 original colonies, they would all fit in Europe. So if one of those 13 original colonies, let's say like North Carolina gets fucking attacked by France or whatever country, they're going to need all the other colonies to gang up and assist and send troops to defend itself from a country, right? Well, welcome to Europe. All of these countries are the sizes of medium states, not large, medium states. Ukraine is, I still think, can be fit well within Texas by a certain number. So you have all of these small states that are countries that are depending on one another for unity and defense, which is huge. Defense, right? And the second that that defense is breached, they have to unite and fight against the larger source, because otherwise it's like South Carolina fighting against Virginia or South Carolina fighting against Mexico. You have an entire federal entity fighting against a singular state. So when I say, and this is my opinion, right? I could be wrong. This is just my opinion on things. I'm not a genius. Tell me how stupid I am in the comments. You're more than welcome to. I'll absorb it. So my entire view of this is, if Europe is overtaken by Russia, they're not going to stop. Why would they? They don't care. They just want more. They think this land is their land, and in 1852 it was theirs. It doesn't matter that in 1851 it was an individual country. In 1852 it was theirs, and that's as far back as they view history. So if Ukraine is taken over, and then the next border town is Poland, and then you've also got like Norway to the north, but I feel like, Poland is definitely the next one, and Poland's been taken over a couple of times. That's a NATO country. All of those other countries, Germany, France, the UK, Spain. Well, I don't know about Spain, but Italy, Hungary, like those ones that are right there on the border with Russia are going to say, well, what's next? If they're taking over the old Soviet bloc states, like, then that's all of us. They took over a whole bunch of shit. People don't realize there were a bunch of sovereign states, and then World War II happened, and then Russia took over a whole bunch of them. And it was just like, all right, well, we gave you support and security, so you're ours now. And they were like, yeah, but we're our own country. And Russia was like, nah, you were, until you needed our help. So in a nutshell, do I want to send money to Ukraine is my dilemma. Or do I want to send troops in the future to assist Europe from basically a Soviet communist overtake? And then that's where it is. I don't want to give money to Ukraine. I don't want to send troops to Ukraine. Don't want to do either one of those. But I know, and I think everybody else that's reasonable knows, that Russia's not going to stop. And I've got friends of mine that have been in the special forces community for a long time. I mean, decades before me. And they're like, well, this is just like the way that Russia does things. Like, they're going to continue if we don't give them money to Ukraine. By the way, most of the money is just surplus military equipment. Then they're going to attack Poland, and then Poland's going to have to defend itself, and then it's going to be World War III. Like, World War III isn't going to be started by nuclear warheads getting tossed from one side to the other. Most likely, World War III will be started by Russia invading Ukraine. It happened, overtaking it, and then pushing into NATO land. And NATO, with a whole bunch of sovereign states that have been here for a while, saying we don't want to be taken over. We've joined this group, much like I said, the 13 original colonies grouping together and saying, all right, cool, we're together, we defend one another, we're one. You know, if that's why NATO is so important. And I feel like that Russia doesn't give a shit. Russia's always been about Russia and saying one thing and then doing whatever's in their interest. And if you don't agree with that, you're naive. Like, just look at the past. Sorry, I got to scroll down. I haven't looked at the comments for a while because I talked about a bunch of shit. As a cop, do you have any funny stories about dealing with truck drivers? As a trucker, I find a lot of police have one. Yeah, I don't deal with truckers because that's like a whole individual section of vehicle and traffic law. But I try not to ruin their lives. Most coppers don't, because a CDL, a commercial driver's license, is difficult to get and it messes with your livelihood. So you can make a small mistake as a truck driver with a CDL, but the second that you create a traffic accident, you're screwed. Sorry, buddy, it's your fault. How many ribbits do you need to drink in a row to be an honorary member of the E4 Mafia? I don't know, but I do know if you drink 8 of the mini ribbits in a row, you will turn invisible. And that is something I didn't just say that now. That's something that I said, and I believe my team sergeant, Dalmonte, said back in 2006. So there's weight behind it. Charles, I appreciate you. Can you ever come to New Mexico? Tequila on me. God bless you and yours. Semper Fi. No, I don't know why I would ever go to New Mexico. But if you want to send me a New Mexico tequila, I'm more than welcome to take it. I tell you what, you can convince me to come to New Mexico by giving me New Mexico tequila. And then I would be like, I might need to do a golf tour there because I love golfing. Poland already said they are ready to take nukes in their country. I don't know what that means. When you say in their country, I don't know what that means. You have to, like, that's a bad comment. Poland already says they'll use nukes to defend their country, right? I don't know if that means, Hato. So I'm, oh my God, truck. I saw lot lizards. Like, that word stood out for me even before I started reading your comment. What is your comment? So I'm good to keep the lot lizards and blow in my truck? Bro. I'm not going to tell you how to do things illegally. I'm on one side and other people are on the other. And if you're smart and you know how to get away with things and you know how not to be an asshole, then you can break a lot of laws. That's not like something that's like a hidden secret. Low key, a lot of laws. L&L. If you're low key, you can break a lot of laws. If you don't draw attention to yourself, let me break this down easily. If a Karen won't come up to you screaming with a cell phone and recording you, you're going to probably get away with it. Is anybody else stunned by that comment? Is anybody else stunned by that comment? I don't think we are. I think we understand that, right? Karen set the world on fire. Nobody likes a Karen, but at the same time, you know, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. This sounds like you're saying yes. I'm just saying if I don't know, I don't know, dude. I'm not condoning anything. Don't listen, hey, Truck Senpai. Don't you paint me in a corner. Don't you make me the bad guy. Don't you make internal affairs come after me just because you want to do some things. I'm saying words, and the only way that you want to interpret them is the way you want to interpret them. So, ta-da. MTM Jedi says, Air Caps, saying what I've been telling people for 5+ years about Russia. Air Caps is the GOAT, and as a Texan, I pronounce you an honorary Texan. I'm not a Texan through birth, but my sister is. I don't know if that makes me an honorary Texan from that way. But she is. She's a Texan. And I would use her legal status in order to gain access into the country. Clark, $10. I appreciate you, handsome. Comment on San Francisco's program where they give the homeless shots of vodka. Soviet problems require Soviet solutions. Dude, you know what? I saw a bunch of posts about this. Somebody in the chat, Clark, you gave me the fantastic chat. Who posted the story? Is it on CNN? Is it on a local news channel? Because I've seen this about where San Francisco was like giving alcohol to homeless people to like make them less homeless or assist in their alcohol desires. San Francisco giving alcohol to homeless. Oh my God. All right. Well, like it's on a couple other things, and I know that the Fox News website is going to make it more inflammatory. All right. Who asked me? Clark. Clark, do I see your response? I don't. Let's see, it's one day ago. Split screen? Oh, what's going on, split screen? You need to show the thing that I'm trying to show. Window capture. Here we go. There we go. San Francisco's program isn't just free beer for unhoused. It's backed up by research. Oh, I'm going to get upset, aren't I? Over the last few days, social media commentators and conservative news outlets have piled on after AI entrepreneur Adam Nathan asked his followers on X, formerly Twitter, did you know San Francisco spends $2 million a year on managed alcohol programs? Nathan, the founder of AI marketing company Blaze. Oh, I've heard of Blaze. And chair of Salvation Army San Francisco, posted last Tuesday describing the program as giving out free beer to unhoused people with alcohol use disorder. Yes. Tech executive Terry Tan, who has often criticized San Francisco's harm reduction policies for drug use, replied in the thread, calling the program harm acceleration. While providing alcohol to people with alcohol use disorder can seem counterintuitive, research shows that harm reduction strategies can be helpful, according to Gene so-and-so. Research at UC Berkeley. All right, go fuck yourself. Science is very clear at this point. Harm reduction as a general strategy for treating alcohol and other drug disorders is very effective. It's a positive thing. San Francisco's manager. All right. I gotta take a piss. I can't even deal with this. I'm gonna take a piss and be right back. Boop. Ugh. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to say something before I continue reading this article, and it's going to probably blow your minds a little bit. Back in the day, I want to say it was like 8 years ago. It might have been more. A Nordic country, it was like Sweden or Norway. They did a thing, right? Where they were like, listen, it's really hard to combat drug trafficking and drug use because people want to use it. They want to get high. They want to do it and whatever. And so they said, what we're going to do is we're going to, instead of allowing all the drugs that are illegal, we're still going to arrest people that are trafficking them. But if you have an addiction, we're going to pay for your addiction. And it sounds counterintuitive, right? It sounds like if I'm a heroin addict, I don't need more heroin. But here's the deal, right? And there's a very human aspect to this. If you're a heroin addict, you're not going to stop just because it's illegal. You are addicted. It is a physical need, not just a mental need. It is a physical necessity that you have heroin in order to continue your day. Otherwise, you're in pain or whatever. You're chemically dependent on the drug. That can be the same thing with crack cocaine, right? And so what they did was they had these buildings that were for drug use, right? It was, I don't know what they're called, but basically there are these buildings that say, hey, listen, if you're addicted to heroin, you state your drug, and then we give you a minimal amount, a very small amount to get you through the day or to like hit your high. It's not to get you high, it's to get you through the day, to keep you from getting dope sick, which is a real thing, where they can't continue. They can't get up and walk. They're just like sitting there in pain and sweating. They're relapsing. So we're going to give you the amount that would prevent you from relapsing. It won't get you high, but it'll get you well, right? Because a lot of the slang is, I'm sick. I'm dope sick. So it's going to get you well. And then you can carry on with your day, whether it be crack, heroin, fentanyl, etc. And I think that that's a great idea. And it sounds really bad politically, right? Because politically, all of your opponents are going to say, they're giving away drugs for free. They're giving them heroin on the streets for free. And it's so fucking stupid when people try to break it down and straw man it, right? But at the same time, I'm a realist. And I know that Norway, Sweden, and I'm pretty sure it was Sweden, is like a 12th the size of the United States. So the only way you could actually go about it appropriately is if it was state by state. And where I think it might work the best is the states with the lowest population in the Midwest with methamphetamine, because meth is dirty and it rots your teeth out and it's horrible. Like crack doesn't break you down like meth does. Meth breaks you down fast. So I think that if individual states in the Midwest decided to take an outlook like Sweden, that has a similar population, were to look at these, were to look at themselves in their cases like Sweden and say, all right, if we give you the minimal amount to survive and also assist you with getting clean, it would prevent the amount of drug houses, prevent the amount of drug-related violent crime and break-ins, which, like, listen, you want to know what your burglaries and your home break-ins and your garages are caused by, for the most part? Drug addicts trying to find the fucking fix. So it's like we're spending a little bit of money to prevent everybody from losing more money. I would like to see that as a trial. Do I know it's going to work? No, I don't fucking know it's going to work. I don't know. Listen, I'm not a genius. I don't have the state's policies and effects, and I know it's going to raise taxes and it sucks. But is this the best way that I think could solve the drug dependency and drug abuse? Yes. in my opinion. And like once again, like what am I gonna do? What's the other side? Like I'm a cop, right? Am I supposed to be a bleeding heart like I am right now and say everybody gets a chance, or am I supposed to be the guy that says lock everybody up, serve them meals 9 to 5, keep them incarcerated for 30 fucking years? Like no, that's a huge strain. That's a huge strain. I think more so than if we just built a fucking shed that said you can shoot up here once a week, notate people. You can only get your shit if you've got a valid state ID and track it. I mean, fucking track it. And I know, like you're gonna say, like the government paid drugs. The government's paid for fucking government overthrows and drugs, so it's not like it's a big deal. Um, I think it's a way for us to combat it in our community. But once again, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a scientist. These are just things that I've seen and ideas that I'm throwing out there. I could be wrong. Like I'm totally open to me being wrong. Let me scroll up and see some of these comments here so I don't like miss anybody that's going on. I'm gonna come Donald Trump. I'm gonna come Donald Trump and watching angry me. I'm gonna come. I love it. Kamala Harris. Don't come. Don't come. Davey says, "Am I to salute you when in Kentucky, Colonel High? Also, can you and Jack Mandeville do an episode giving Darwin Awards to failed insurgent attacks on Fucker 530? You have the great work. Love you, and all the best from Tennessee." Davey, you know what? That's a good idea. I should have Jack Mandeville on here. I think he should be my guest. I think he should be my co-sponsor. I think he should be my co-host. I think you know what? I'm going to text him right now. I am going to text him right now. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to do this live. Check. Jack. Or text. Jack, would you like to host a live stream with me discussing how drugs affect America? Question mark. And how the Nordic system of allowing addicts to have drugs could combat drug use in America? Question mark. There you go. Oh my God. Oh, more super chats. All right. Wouldn't that just encourage more addicts to move into those states and saddle with them more debt and higher taxes? Yes, it would. Which is like one of these things. Like, what do we do? Like, right? Like California is you can be homeless and you can block a street now, you can block a sidewalk, you can do whatever you want if you're homeless, like blah blah blah. You can have an RV and you can park it on the side of the road and it creates more problems. You're absolutely right. Now, and here's my libertarian point of view, right? I'm not a libertarian, but like I know when things are libertarian. Government involving itself in more things usually makes it worse. So what I want to say is my counterpoint to the point that I just made about like government allowing drug use is just to take the laws that are currently in place and actually enforce them. And you're going to be like, AC, what do you mean currently enforce them? People get locked up all the time. Yeah, they get locked up. They get arrested, but they're not like in jail. They get remanded, which means on ROR, release in your own recognizance, which means like you get like half a kilo of coke in New York and you get arrested for it. And they go, you know what? Even though it's an A1 felony on the same par as murder, it's non-violent. So as a judge, they can choose whether or not to put bail on you. Do you know if you have a half of a fucking kilo of cocaine, you're not a user. You're a massive mover. Why would you not put bail on that person? That person isn't just like, oh, I've got a half a kilo and I'm just sitting on it to save it up one day, like a gold coin. No, they're moving weight. But these judges in New York State are, look at me, fucking retarded. They're so far removed. It's like they don't know that crime is committed. They have been living in school and scholarly academics and yada yada, and they have police officers come up to them and say, "Hey, I would like a warrant for this place," and they're like, "Why? I don't understand." And then we make the arrest for the dope that we bought out of it, and we go, "Oh my god, it wasn't just the amount of dope that we bought; it was like 10 times more," which is the fucking point. And they go, "Oh wow, so your investigation proved there was more dope in there, way more." Yes, sweet. All right, no bail. And you look at them and you go, what the fuck is the point? Oh, I'm about to go off on a tangent. You're going to get shitty cops in New York State. Hey, New York State, you're going to get shitty cops. You know why? Because the judges don't back you up, and the judges don't back up the cops, and the DAs don't back up the cops, right? If a police officer arrests somebody, it's not because they're a dirty cop. Let's say 1 in 1,000. 1 in 1,000 is a dirty cop. Do you think that only 1 in 1,000 cases are getting dropped down or removed or like charged at a minimum or a lower charge than what they were actually arrested with? Let's say that number 1 is the highest charge and 2 and 3 are below them. 2 being a fine, some jail time, 3 being a slap on the wrist. Do you know how many times I've arrested somebody at a 1 and judges have let them go with a 2 or a 3? Or ADAs, the district attorneys, let them go with a 2 or a 3? I one time caught a guy with, I shit you not, a softball amount of hard cocaine in his pocket. And the ADA that ran the case said, a misdemeanor. Will conviction of an A misdemeanor, and will take the $1,200 that was on him. I didn't want that. She went through with it. What do you want me to do now? It's like an A2, maybe B level felony. America, let me tell you something. You want to ruin your justice system? It's not the cops. It's the district attorneys. The district attorneys are ruining your justice system. And so is the attorney general. Letitia James is horrible for New York. Floki. Wouldn't that... Oh, I already got you. Oh no. I got to get back to the things. I scrolled down too far. Comment on the honeyed soldier detained in Russia. Oh, the honeypot soldier that detained in Russia. I can't comment on that right now because I'm about to do a video on it. Otherwise, I would. We tried decriminalizing hard drugs in Oregon. The state now looks like North Korea, and The Walking Dead has a kid. You're absolutely right, Clark. So guess what? It didn't work. Didn't work. Maybe it's... I will say, however, the way that they went about it, where they completely decriminalized all usage, is bad, right? Allowing people to use in a room, in a home, in a designated medical area, which is what I'm trying to say, and not decriminalizing it is different, right? If you're caught walking around with the dope, you get arrested, fuck you. However, if you use dope or you go to a medical area where they have medical grade dope and they give it to you, not to get high, but to get through your day, that is a different scenario. And it's still a reach. It's dude, and I get it, right? I'm not defending it in like, it's a very undefensible position, right? There's a lot of failures. I'm saying it worked in one spot. How could we make it work? Could it work in the United States? And my argument to your decriminalizing it is do not decriminalize it. No. It's still illegal. You still get arrested for it. You just are, if you are an addict, you get to go to a medical scenario, medical facility and say, hey, I'm addicted to heroin. I need some sort of medical heroin. And if you say, don't do that, it's already happening. It's called Suboxone clinics. It's already happening. called Suboxone clinics. I'm just saying, absolutely do not decriminalize it. Great question. Way to call me out on something that I didn't talk about before. Clark, you're very smart. I want to see Tony Gonzalez and unsub with you, Brandon, Eli, and Donut. Tony Gonzalez wouldn't last a day in an actual debate. I'm sure I could eventually learn to forgive Tony Gonzalez for the shit that he's done. But here's the deal. Dirty politics is dirty politics. The second that you get entrenched in the swamp and become a piece of shit, well, that's Tony Gonzalez. For those of you that don't know, Brandon Herrera, a friend of mine, is running for a congressional seat in the 23rd District of Texas, I think it is, against incumbent Tony Gonzalez. And Tony Gonzalez, what he does is, his name is like Engelbert Anthony Gonzalez, but he uses his name, Tony, Anthony Gonzalez, to sound more Hispanic, right? It's a psyop. Brandon Herrera, that's his name. It's his first name, his last name, Brandon Herrera. That's it. And what's happening is that Brandon has been attacking Tony. Well, I didn't even say that. Tony Gonzalez has been attacking Brandon Herrera online numerous times, and Brandon has retorted directly to his attacks and shut them all down. But what Tony Gonzalez is doing is play-by-play political manipulation. He's trying to attack Brandon's credibility on lies and smears, calling him a Nazi. He's fucking Spanish, dude. He lives in your district. You're treating a constituent like this. And he's like, oh, Nazi, KKK, blah, blah, blah. He's using all these techniques and tactics that people that are embedded in the swamp and that are already bought for use. And so my opinion is that Tony Gonzalez is a bought and paid for politician. And he's about to lose a seat to Brandon Herrera, a non-bought and paid for politician who can say and do what he wants because he's not worried about overhead money coming in or going away. Tony Gonzalez is. And with Tony Gonzalez losing this race, and he's very close to losing it, I think Brandon Herrera is actually up in points right now. And what Tony Gonzalez is doing is he's saying, hey, every political member that's also bought and paid for with this big money, with corporate money, if the corporate loses, they lose power, which means you lose their money. So you need to vote for me and promote me and support me. And then we will all win together, right? But they all win together, not for you, not for the people. They all win together for the corporation, which is disgusting. As much as a capitalist as I am, I don't like corporations stating, who and what we can vote for. Floki, thoughts on the guy in New York that got 10 years for building his own guns and the idiot judge who said the Second Amendment doesn't mean anything in her court? I think that is going to be thrown away in the New York State Court of Appeals, which is New York State's Supreme Court. And if it's not, it's going to be thrown away in the Supreme Court. And New York State has lost its way. I live here. It's a beautiful place. But however, it's been run by corrupt officials for a very long time. And it's turning into California, where it's chasing away businesses because of its taxes. It's chasing away its citizens that are conducting normal. It's chasing away its law-abiding citizens who are following the law. And it's not stepping on the dicks and the toes of the people that break the law, right? This guy that made his own firearms, I don't know the full story. Let's say that he has a New York State pistol permit and he's making and creating his own firearms. You can do that. There's stipulations underneath like how and why in this state, but he can do that. Honestly, I think it's an overreach of the law. 10 years because he's creating his own firearms for himself. If you can prove that he's selling them and giving them to people to then commit crimes, I think 10 years sticks. If it's literally he created like 4 or 5 firearms and they're there in his building, in his room, in his safe, go fuck yourself. You can have firearms. You can create your own firearms in every state. Yeah, I think I think that's Letitia James, the New York State Attorney General, who's absolute garbage. A complete utter idiot who doesn't know her asshole from the hole in the ground, who is all New York City, Long Island trash, who thinks in a bubble and doesn't know how to think outside of it. I'm sure that she could ask me a question about every single arrest that I've made, and I would make her look absolutely foolish with the questions that she asked. Officer, hi. Why did you make the man turn around and put his hands on top of the hood? I don't understand that. So I can control his hands, see them, and prevent him from reaching somewhere, so that I am protected whilst I conduct a search. And when he punched you in the face, like, did you need to put him on the ground? He just assaulted a police officer. Are you fucking stupid? He chose violence, not me. These are the dumb things that she did. Letitia James railroaded some police officers in Lockport, New York. She created an investigation on them on a legal shoot. Well, it wasn't not a shoot, but it was it was an unfortunate death in custody that was outside of the power of the officers that were there on scene. Like, they did everything that they could. They requested medical assistance, and that was known, and it was decided on by her investigation team within like a month. But then she kept it on going for, I think, over a year, demanding that the department release the officers, even though they did nothing wrong. And I believe one of them accepted it, and then two of them sued, and I believe the two that sued won. So yeah, Letitia James is not for law and order. She's for a political ideology that's ruining the state. All right, start commenting on some shit. I'm going to do a shot. And then we're going to talk about whatever comment I think is the most interesting. When the GOP defaults to Godwin's law, you know they're working for the opposition. I don't know what Godwin's law is. That's an interesting point. I don't know what Godwin's law is. Maybe I do, and I just don't understand the reference by name. By the way, I do have a P.O. box. If you ever want to send me a delicious bottle of tequila, you are more than welcome. Ricochet. Oh, here we go. Thoughts on the airman shot in Florida by local PD. I don't know enough information on it. Let me tell you something. A lot of people have tagged me in it on Twitter, like the day it happened. I was actually getting a little railroaded there. People were like, of course angry cops won't, and donut operator won't comment on this, blah blah blah, they're bootlickers and assholes and whatever. I won't know what to do until the investigation is done and shows what it shows, and then I can tell, in the gray, what happened in the investigation. However, I will say this, and this is me looking directly in the camera. Police officers don't want to kill you. Our job is not to kill you. The incident that happened in Florida sucks. At least from the very basic understanding that I have right now, and not looking into the investigation, and the investigation not providing any sort of information for us as a country, community, etc., to break down. An airman lost his life, and a police officer had to take one. And although one is a far greater difference and burden to bear, none of these are positive outcomes. They're not. A young man losing his life and a man having to deal with that consequence is bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. Here's my caveat to that. These all lose scenarios that happen, that you're seeing being portrayed on social media by everybody who's pro-cop or anti-cop or libertarian or pro-Second Amendment or whatever. Here's one thing that I can tell you 100% that is true. Incidents that are so strange like this happen once or twice a year. There are millions upon millions of police interactions and billions, well, I'll say like hundreds of thousands of interactions that go poorly, where use of force has to be done, where an arrestee is resisting, whether it be lethal or non-lethal, where resistance is met and has to be overcome. And out of these millions of calls and hundreds of thousands of use of forces, one or two of these happen a year, and they're not good, right? I don't know all the information right now. I just know it's not good. It's not good that this young man died. It's not good that this police officer thought he had to shoot them and then now has to deal with the consequences. And one is worse than the other because one person is dead and one person's not. I understand. I'm saying that when there are people that go out there and say, every time I answer the door now, I should have a firearm to protect myself against the police, you're fucking insane. This specific incident is one out of literally the tens, if not hundreds of millions of policing incidents where everything goes wrong. If you're going to say that this is the standard, then that means every school shooting means we shouldn't have guns. If you're going to say that this incident is the standard, then that means that everybody that is proven guilty in a court of law should be proven innocent, because every once in a while there's a person that is truly not guilty. Our world is not a perfect world, and there are horrible mistakes that happen, and that unfortunately is one of the costs of freedom. I'm not saying that owning a gun means you get shot. Absolutely not. I'm saying that in a entire country of, I think, 300 million people, there are going to be incidents that no matter what way you break it down or look at it, are going to be hard to swallow and difficult to understand. And some of them are just bad. They end up horribly. You tried your best and you failed. And that's the way that it is. That doesn't mean that we change policy on it. When these events happen, I think it's important to look at them as an individual event. Can things be changed at the local level? Is it necessary for things to be changed at a state and federal level? And then we go from there, right? If it's yes, yes, or no, no, or whatever, we go from there. It's sloppy and it's bad. However, I will raise a drink in honor of the airman. Whether he was a good guy or a bad guy, I don't care. It's unfortunate that we lost a service member in this way. Cheers to him. AC needs to get James Woods on. Oh my God, I would love to have James Woods on. I don't know what the fuck I'd talk about because I don't know what he's done recently, but I think it'd be great. What do you think about my diatribe right now? Do you think I'm too full of shit? Do you think I'm a boot-looking cop, or do you think that I have a good understanding of what life is like? Angry Dill started to do live podcast Q&A. I may be a masochist. Listen, if you want me to be, angry, then I'll shit on you. Oh, gang, you're not talking. What are you doing here? I got 542 people here. You're not going to ask a question? What are we all like dumbfounded and shit? Do you think that I'm not going to read your question? It better be, it better be good. You better ask a question, but In Oregon, some people will dress up like Sam Adams and George Washington. The state's supply of almond milk I am dumped into Willamette River. Clark, you might be mildly retarded. Thank you for the $5. But if people dress up like the founding fathers and dump milk into a river, I guess they can do that. You didn't really ask a question, you just made a statement. Um, so good, I guess. As an Army engineer, what are your thoughts on the Seabees? I think that they should be more combat oriented. I think that the Seabees have lost their way, and it's not because of the Seabees. I think it's because of their commands. I think the commands have taken the Seabees and misunderstood them and thought that combat and engineering is no longer effective, which is complete and utter horseshit. If you need some shit built in the middle of combat zone, in the middle of combat, you need the fucking Seabees. So I think the Navy has its head up its ass when it's trying to make the Seabees less combat related. Fucking go against me there. I'll arm wrestle you. Whatever Navy fucking chief is in charge of that shit. Did angry comments on the corruption depriving Ukrainians of so much needed fortifications? Angry comment on the corruption. Also, kudos to showing your butt and making the live stream. Yeah, I commented on the corruption depriving Ukrainians of much needed fortifications. I don't know what that means. By the way, if you weren't at the live unsub podcast, then you will you missed my literal bare butt. I'm the man. Thank you. Best police story you got? Nope. No. James are live. Lives local to you. Oh, that's cool. Best police story ever? Nope. Doesn't tequila alcohol make you fart? Nope. Would you go on Timcast? Oh, I'd love to go on Timcast if he has something police related. It'd actually be a dream of mine. I would really, really like to be on Timcast. I don't know. You know what? Honestly, I think I need Timcast to tell me that I'm not good enough. I think I need somebody from Timcast to tell me that I'm... No, we don't know. But if they ever needed like a police expert, I guess, opinion on it, I would love to sit in on Tim's thing. But I do feel like if you give me a moment like the Florida shooting, like not everything is about, you know, death, right? It's a very small, minuscule thing, but it's very dramatic. So people care about that. Like, I'm not going to have the best answer for that. However, if you're like, how is crime affecting the community in this way? That I will definitely have an answer for. But yeah, you know what? If you're on Twitter at all or on Instagram, go to Tim's Instagram and just say you need to have Angry Cops as a police expert on your program. He's a no-nonsense guy that likes talking shits. Do I have any plans on unsub again? Yeah, they're my boys. Bro, unsub is doing well enough to where they can fly people out. Even before then, if my friends wanted me to come out on a podcast, I would foot the bill and I would sleep on a couch so they wouldn't have to spend any money so they could succeed. And I love seeing my boys succeed. And they are. What will it take to bring back the shark attack? It's still there, baby. It's just undercover. It's 007. Lou, do I like cigarillos? Also, sorry, I was kind of drunk. I mean, I guess you are. You can do that if you're at home texting. I mean, that's very dangerous, but at the same time, that's okay. Straight on. Boom. I do like cigarillos. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with cigarillo. Cigarillos are small cigars that you can smoke in like, 5 or 10 minutes. And they're very nice. Brian, Broken Record. First time chatting. Found you through on sub. Sweet. Funniest time you had to smoke someone. Funniest time I had to smoke someone. It's usually not funny. Usually it's because they made a mistake. And this is going to sound a little preachy, but I'm not there to make myself laugh. And if you make me laugh, if it's in good humor and not an intentional breaking of the rules, then I kind of let it slide. You know, if that makes sense. Am I enjoying being on Pepperbox? I love it. I support it. I think it's a great thing. If it wasn't for Pepperbox, I don't have to worry about a what if anymore. You know, if YouTube or let me tell you a story. This is why Pepperbox matters to me. All right, Pepperbox, for those of you that don't know, I talked about it a little bit earlier before. I'll go more in depth here of why I think it's important for me and other creators, right? Pepperbox is myself, like I think Corridor Crew is related somehow, Donut Operator Ren Herrera. We have all of our content, including additional content, on Pepperbox. You can watch all of us for a monthly subscription. And that's if we ever get taken off the platform. And here's the deal, right? YouTube censors a lot of people. And I'll give you a specific example. I had 1.3 million followers on TikTok, and TikTok booted me. And here's the reason why they booted me. They booted me because they said that my content was not authentic, which means that I'm ripping people off. The weird thing, though, is I didn't post on it for like 3 or 4 months. And all the fake accounts of me, like copyrighted my shit or something. And the fake accounts of me got me booted off. So here I am with 1.3 million followers. All the fake accounts have less than 40,000. But they're trying to pretend that they're me. And they say, hey, this guy's copying us. And then they got me, the real me, kicked off. And all my shit deleted. And I couldn't get back on. I created a new account. And honestly, I don't care about it. I think TikTok is an absolute garbage platform where if a bunch of fakers can get you kicked off and they're trying to steal all of your information and give it to the Chinese government, I could give a shit. Honestly, I'm like super, super pissed off at TikTok. They're a bunch of unbelievable cunts. Yeah, like cigarillos. Brock Purdy, the Great. Interesting name. Alex Stein would love to have you on his podcast. Who's Alex Stein? All right, Google. Who is Alex Stein? Sounds very familiar. Is he a dickhead? I don't need to be on a dickhead's podcast. Listen, let me tell you something. If there's a political dickhead out there that is like, oh, I'm going to fucking show him. Hey, you better fucking guess again. Who is Alex Stein? Alex Stein's a dickhead. He's just a fucking guy that shows off shit. And like, honestly, I don't know if I could have a real conversation with him. I'd sit there and he listen, like he's a provocateur, right? And an entertainer. And so I don't know. Maybe it'd be fun to joust with him. I don't know. He hasn't reached out to me. Maybe if he reached out to me, maybe I would do something, but I really don't know. God, I really don't know. How do you handle a situation when a cop is on a power trip or is a bad cop without escalating it? I grab them and I say, all right. I'll put it this way. I'll say that they have something else that they have to address. I'll be like, hey, come here. You got to address this. Hey, this is something you need to look at. Hey, come here. I got to ask you a question. And then I'll pull a police officer away. And I've had it happen to me, and other police officers have had it happen to them, where somebody from the outside looking in is like, all right, this is an emotional call. And which is weird, right? Like police officers can't get emotional, but we're supposed to be emotional. Like, oh, I'm sorry, you raped your grandma. I need to be impartial and nice and kind and politely ask you to the ground. I can't just like tackle you and put you to the ground after your grandma's weeping there bleeding, right? Everybody else in a normal atmosphere would be like, yo, you need to jack up that guy that just diddled his grandma, right? But when you go to a lawyer, when you go to a judge, when you're in the middle of the public eye and everybody's like, oh, really? Is this how you treat guys that diddle their grandma? I'm like, yeah, this is how I treat guys who diddle their grandma. For some reason, juries are like, oh, well, if I diddled my grandma, I wouldn't want to be tackled to the ground like that. And you're like, would you really? And then people lose their mind. They're like, well, if that was my friend that diddled their grandma. I'd want them to be politely asked to the ground on a silver platter, and it's ridiculous. So when you look at a police officer advising another police officer to like, hey, slow down or back up, there are the obvious moments of cop going out of control and screaming and motherfucking people, and like waving his baton, or grabbing people and shaking them to talk to them or whatever. But yeah, they're very few and far in between. And honestly, if you were there for the call and you listened to it and you put yourself in that officer's shoes, which I wish people did more, you would probably understand it or go, all right, that's whatever. How would the founding father react to how we messed up this country? Probably dump almond milk in the nearest body of water. We have over 20%. We're taxed at over 20%. The founding fathers would have started a revolution already. It's my opinion. When the richest class of Americans is taxed at like 45%, and the middle class is taxed at like 25-30, our founding fathers would have like flipped out. They're like, no, there's a flat tax. Like, you get 15% and that's it. And I made a joke about it, and I completely stand on it. If Christians and Jews and Muslims all agree that 10% is tithing, right? That you give 10% to the church, then how is the U.S. government doing more for me than Christ? How is the U.S. government doing more for me than my church? It's not. And yet it demands 3 times that amount. Go fuck yourself. No. I think that the taxes of the state and of the federal government are absolutely absurd. In fact, there's a law that the founding fathers put together. Is it the founding fathers? I forget. Either way, there's a law. There's some sort of statute. I forget what it is. The fat electrician would know better than I do, because he brought it up to me. He actually informed me. And he was like, because each individual citizen needs to do their taxes, there is like a regulation involved where taxes need to be so easy to do so that each individual citizen can do their taxes. How easy is it for you to do your taxes? Oh, you got to call, Tax Corp or H&R Block or whatever to do your taxes because they're so complicated? That's the wrong answer. That's the wrong answer. Because every law, every additional law, every stipulation, every credit or anti-credit is the government sticking their fingers in your business. If they made a flat 15% tax, I guarantee you more people would pay it because it's less out of their pocket. So instead of cheating and playing the game, people would actually pay it. And because it's a flat tax and everybody pays the same, we're all the same. If you're a millionaire, if you're on Skid Row, ta-da. There you go. When Brandon wins the election, will he get a POB? No. Oh, thanks, though. Lambers. Very nice of you. Will Remedical really help my husband get his rating, in your opinion? They rejected his melanoma claim for some dumbass reason, even though his tent was literally next to the pits. Oh, you have a burn pit issue. All right, Dr. Ned. Dr. Ned. Here's my real take on Remedical. Okay. I don't give a shit about Remedical. I gave a shit that the VFW attacked my friend. They said, you look like a shill because you promoted this company. This company that has so far not been labeled a shark. And by the way, being labeled shark by the VFW is fucking nonsense. It's whatever they deem it. And what they deem it is if you charge a fee in order to assist a veteran. That's it. That's it. That is it in a nutshell. The VFW says you're a claim shark if you charge a veteran in order to assist them in their claims, which is horseshit. Now, if you charge an exorbitant fee, yes. If you charge a fee over a long time and you get a percentage of each and every one of their paychecks, yeah, you're a piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. Here's how I know. Here's what I know. What I know about Remedical. Remedical asks your husband, what's wrong with you? Your husband tells them what's wrong with them. And then Remedical goes, okay, cool. Is that all? Yes. Cool. We're going to send you this doctor, this doctor, and this doctor. And they're going to look at you and they're going to say, all right, if this is what you're claiming, you need A, B, and C in order to prove that it is an issue. And then you're going to need that paperwork. So then they're going to look at it. They're going to make sure that that is correct, that that thing is issued, that thing is injured, and that thing is broken, and that thing's preventing them. And then they're going to give you A, B, and C in paperwork. They're going to hand it to your husband, and they're going to go, here. When you eventually turn this into the VA for your claim, which you will, they're going to say, you're going to say, hey, my thing hurts. And then here's all the paperwork to prove that that hurts and that it was service related. And you're going to give it to them. And a bunch of other people do that too, not just Remedical. And then because there are no reasons for the VA to deny the claim, it will go through. So, and here's the bigger game, right? The bigger game is the VA is here to deny your claim, and there are other people that are there to assist your claim. The people that are there to assist your claim, whether it be paid or VSO, non-for-profit, whatever, are going to gather your information and then give it to you. So then your claim does not get denied. And then they give it to you and you send it forward to the VA. And the VA looks at it. And either this person over here that helped you didn't do a good job, or they did a good job. And the VA says, you have more than enough information. Thank you for supporting your claim. You are awarded it. Or they say you're denied it and they send it back. And here's where a lot of veterans have an issue. They go to people that don't give them enough information, that don't supply the information needed for the VA to support it, and the VA denies it. The VA will deny you if you don't have information. The other people, regardless of if they're paid to play or not for profit, are trying to provide you the information to give to the VA to prove that you are eligible for those benefits. Some of these places take longer. Some of these places are streamlined, like the pay to play ones. And there you go. That's it. My friends have paid. Some of them haven't. I haven't. I'm going to be extending. I'm going to be enlarging my VA claim because obviously I'm fucking retarded. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. Is Re right for you? I don't know. Could the VFW be right for you? Sure. Could the American Legion be right for you? Absolutely. It's just the VA is going to deny you if you don't have the right thing. And who do you think will get you the right thing? And I lean on not-for-profits. A lot of them are very great. Some of them have some, what do you call them? Bad reviews every once in a while, and that's whatever. And then you have to sort through them. And some places that are pay to play or for-profit businesses that are like, we're going to get, listen, you got to give us $5,000, but we're going to give you like 10 years worth of your benefits back. Like, holy shit, that's fucking worth it. 10 years worth of benefits for $5,000? Like, yeah, that's fucking phenomenal. So that's my 2 points. Philip says, still have 3M earplugs. Dude, I was in that lawsuit and I won. But I still have not seen the money. So I'm wondering what's going on. Can you claim burn pits? Yes. Talk to Hunter 7. The Hunter 7 Foundation is the #1 foundation I tell everybody to go talk to. If you don't know what you need, if you're fucked and you're hurt and you suck and everything's broken and you don't know what to do, Hunter 7 is like the operator. Just hit 0. Call Hunter 7, email Hunter 7 and say, I have this issue. Don't fucking make it a paragraph. Make it 3 sentences. I'm broken. I need help. Here are my issues. Who do I talk to? 4 sentences. That should be it. You have a question. This is for the tequila fund or to the bribe the armorer next drill. I have a question. Is this for the tequila fund? Oh, no, it's for tequila. Well, I mean, you can buy me tequila and directly send it to me in my P.O. box. You're more than welcome to do that. You don't have to just, like, give me $5, although that's very nice. As someone from Atlanta, you take on the Falcons draft shenanigans on Zach's podcast had me in tears. I'm from here and I can't make any sense of it. Yeah, I know. I mean, I tried my best. Like, unfortunately or fortunately, the first quarter of the podcast is me talking about the Atlanta Falcons and football. First quarter, I think it's just football. What's the best way to get out of a ticket? Be honest. Own up to it. Tell them that you're sorry. That's it. Like, if you get pulled over by a cop, I hate it when people say, cops are just looking for people to break the law. Hold on a second. Why is that a bad thing? Aren't cops supposed to look for people that are breaking the law? That's our job, right? To look for people that are breaking the law. So if you fucking speed and we pull you over and we're like, hey, sorry, African-American woman with 3 children in the back, you were speeding. Like, if you were speeding, fucking deal with it. I'm sorry, officer. I apologize. I got 3 screaming kids in the back and I'm just trying to get them home and I'm super frustrated and flustered and that's the way my life is. It's just the way that it is. I'm a mom. I don't have a job. My husband's at work and I got to do this other shit at home. Sorry. We have hearts. We're going to let you go. Unless they're a trooper and then they're going to fuck you. Or unless you were like egregiously speeding, like like you're doing like 90 in a 55. And then we're going to be like, listen, you don't give a shit about your 3 kids because you're flying 45 miles over and going in and out of traffic. Like, it is what it is. Like, suck it. Deal with it. Suck it up. But if, like, you're a white woman, you come to me like a Karen, and you start going, like, you know this and that, and this and that, and this and that, and I know how you know, you know who I know, you know what I know. And I'm just going to be like, all right, well, this is a moment where there's no teaching. I don't get to tell you, hey, please slow it down. It's just a learning event, and you get to learn via a fine. Would you like to see new episodes of MASH? No, I don't give a shit. I never watched MASH. I thought it was garbage. I hated it. I didn't like it. I'm sure maybe it was above it was too old for me. Maybe. I hated it. Can we get a live shark attack? You kind of have one. If you look at the YouTube video, Drill Sergeant stabbing privates, which is me stabbing privates. Not a shark attack. It's just me teaching them how to deal with life. I've been pulled over multiple times. I've always been respectful. I've apologized when they ask me if I'm speeding honest, and I say I have no reason. Although my 120 miles per hour into 55 was a $2,500 fine. Yeah, you're almost going 3 times the speed limit. It sucks to suck. But listen, why is everybody upset? Listen, here's my biggest thing about law, right? Here's my biggest thing about law. I call them Karen laws, right? I call them Karen laws. This is what a Karen law is. A Karen law is when a group of moms get together for a thing, right? You know what? This my grandson, who is a piece of shit and is 87 years old, decided to throw a gun at a police officer and he was shot. So now we're starting the Moms Against Guns campaign. And we're not allowing anybody who's African American to hold a firearm legally, right? And they make this super law where, you can't hold a firearm if you're a Black American in New York State. And now there's this stupid law that everybody is just like, this is fucking stupid. If you're Black, you should be able to hold a firearm. Like, what are we doing here? And nobody pushes back against it. But here's the deal. Here's the deal, right? You ready for this? This is going to scare you. Every law is an infringement on your free rights. But every law is a group agreement that it's okay to do that. Oh, no. So it's bad, but it's good. But it's bad, but we voted on it. It is so much more easy to have a group of Karens rally in the middle of the street and cry because one small incident happened. And I say small. Let me rephrase that. It's easy for a group of people that are affected by a tragedy to gather in the street when that tragedy affects a small, minute number of people. And because people feel bad about that movement, that tragedy, they gather together and then they create a law. And that law now affects everybody. Even if it's only a 0.1% of the chance at the time, that doesn't matter. That law is in effect 100% of the time once it's passed. Now, it's far more easy for you to create a law that diminishes your freedom by 0.1% that is now enforced 100% of the time than it is for you to remove that 0.1% of the law that affects you in a negative way from the statutes, from the books, from the whatever, from the state. It's far more easy. And this is what the public needs to know. Because we've got so many more laws that negatively affect people. And then people look at cops as like, you're a piece of shit bootlicker for affecting it. Like, you voted on it. You voted on it. My local community voted on it. Take it off the books. Call up your local senator. Tell them that this law is bullshit. Tell them that it affects your First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, 19th Amendment. Tell them that it affects you negatively. And have a group, start calling them nonstop, and have a law taken off the books. Now, let me tell you, having a law put on the books, giving the government more power, is far more easier than having them take it away. Oh, we get more power because you want a law? Oh, we lose power because you don't want it? I don't know. Real talk. African American community. Where are you at? You've got more pull in the Democratic Party than anybody else. You're telling me that with all of your rallying, you can't get one law taken out of the books? Do it. Do it. Do it. I don't care what law it is. I don't give a shit. I don't care if it's whatever law it is. Do it. Do it. African American politicians, community members, I want you to get together. And I want you to rally in New York State. And I want you to remove 2 laws. 2 laws that you think negatively, disproportionately affect your community. Or just the community in general, right? Let's be a gang about it. Let's be cool about it. Let's be like, hey, you know what? This isn't a black problem. This is an everybody problem. Tinted windows are cool. We want tinted windows. I don't want you pulling people over for that shit no more. License plates. We don't need a front one. We just need one. Whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Try to get that law taken off the books. All of a sudden, the people that are like your voice. Well, watch how difficult it is. And I want you to do it. I want you to do it. Oh, Veteran with a Sign is on. Hey, Zach. Hey, you know what? If you want Veteran with a Sign to jump on real quick, I want you to put in the chat a bunch of thumbs up. Let me see if I can. I'm going to text him right now. See if he can't jump on. Because he's got permanent access to my thing. Oh, everybody's doing. Oh, Zach, you don't count, you fucking turd. Zach, I'm going to call you up right now. Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person. How dare he? How dare he? Oh, he's on a plane to Texas. Oh. He's on a plane to Texas. Well, you know what? That's a disappointment. I guess we can all get along with. All right. On that note, since Zach is like letting us down because he's a fucking turd,
and he's saying, "Hey, I can't get on because I'm in Texas." The only two things I can ask you to do is to one, follow the channel. Listen, the only way that this thing grows and that other people get to comment on us and grow with us as a community is if you share the channel. If you share it, the best way to support it is sharing it. That's for free. The best free way to support it is sharing it and leaving a comment once after this is live. The best way to support it is, of course, to buy a shirt at angry-cops.com or a sticker, a flag. Excuse me. We have brand new flags that are up for a limited time. Pre-order is right now, and I think it's like you save like $5 or $10. So, all right, I'll do one more shot with you, and then I'm out of here. All right, weirdos. Angry-cops.com. Get yourself some swag. Support the channel.
Cheers. Long day at work tomorrow. See you next time, weirdos.